You've been practicing simple Shavasana, and now I'm going to show you some adaptations that you might choose to use in your own practice or in the classes that you teach. So the first setup is the same blanket that you've been using under the head in your simple Shavasana setup. We're going to add a sandbag. This one's about 10 pounds in weight, so I'm going to lay that next to my mat so I can easily reach it. Then you'll come down, as you did before, onto your forearms, and then lowering yourself down. Right, arms down by your sides. This is a really nice pose to do if you have any tension in your low back. Right? This helps the low back to ground. It's a nice support for the knee joints. Right? And then as you lie here, you can let your shoulders drop, let the hips drop. Right? Let go of any tension in your legs. And then as you come out of this pose, you can bend your knees, step your feet onto the bolster, right, and roll onto your side. You'll press down into your palm, and then nice and slowly lift your way up to sit. Now, I'm going to show you another variation with the bolster under the knees. This adds the blocks under the feet. And that can be really nice because sometimes people's legs don't reach the ground, or their feet don't reach the ground. So the blocks under the feet can be really supportive for the joints, right? So you'll have the blocks right in front of the mat, right? And so my legs around again, my heels rest on the blocks. You want to make sure the bolster is catching the backs of the knees as you lower down, right? And then again, I like to lengthen one leg, lengthen the other, right? And then let the feet go. You'll see my feet roll open slightly here, which is kind of my natural go-to. And then as you come out of this, you're going to bend your knees, roll over to one side, right? And then press down and lift your way up to sit. Sometimes it feels more comfortable to lie on your side than lying on the back for Shavasana. And if that's the case, I'll show you an easy setup with your bolster. You could also use a pillow at home if you don't have a bolster. And you can keep the blanket here if that feels nice for you, supporting the head. So I'm going to lie down, in this case on my left side. And if you've got the blanket, again, just make sure it's not coming under the shoulder. Right, and then you'll bring your arm in. I like to have my arm out to the side and rest my head down, but you could also bend your elbow and make a little pillow for your head with your hand, and then you're just draping your arm over the bolster. You can stack the legs here, let the weight of your head go. And taking nice long breaths in through your nose and long breaths out through your nose. And then when you're ready to transition, you can press your hand into the bolster, get a nice heavy head as you lift up to sit. And the last thing I'm going to show you here is a setup for the head, which you could actually use for any of the poses that you come into, a simple Shavasana, the Shavasana with the bolster under the knees. So I'm going to show you this variation. So you've got your folded blanket. You're actually going to turn it so that the short edge of the blanket is facing you. Actually, let me turn the tassels the other way. The short edge of the blanket is facing you. And then you're going to fold the blanket down, probably about 2/3 down. So you've got this little lip with the blanket. And this lip is going to support just the tops of the shoulder blades. Right, so I'm going to lie down. This time, with the other setups, you did not have the shoulders on the blanket. This time, we're going to have just the tops of the shoulders resting on the blanket. So you've got this little lip with the blanket. You're going to hold onto the edges of the blanket and start to fold them under. So you're folding them towards the ground rather than up towards the ceiling. And you'll roll it nice and tight all the way up the edge of the blanket. Then once you've done the top layer, you're going to do the bottom layer. Start down towards your shoulders, and you'll roll the blanket under. Right? And this creates a nice cradle for the head. My head feels really supported here. You can, again, feel very grounding in this pose, like someone's holding your head, gently holding your head. And I'll show you what this looks like. So let me just roll to my side. Right. So you've got a little lip with the lower edge of the blanket, and you can see the cradle where my head would go. And again, blanket is rolled under and towards the ground and not up towards your head. We'd like you to spend 10 to 20 minutes a day practicing Savasana for the rest of the course. And you can choose any Savasana setup that you would like. We hope you enjoy these setups, and we'll see you in the next video.